mama neando, majado matanyolo, mawonu le kola ungenunyo, randejo, ya ungenunyo, randejo, ungenunyo, randejo, ya ungenunyo, randejo, mane, wanebira, mana wani era pena nukolile, ya ungenunyo, randejo, ya ungenunyo, randejo.
He has given me victory. Oh, my God has given me victory. He has given me victory. Oh. All the days of my life I praise you. Everything that I have now you gave to me, Baba. Lord, I say for your love I'm grateful. Yes, you love me plenty, you came to die for me. Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Nissi, I am that I am. Ooh. Oh, I searched around, there's no one else like you. Lion of Judah, you're the man, the man, the man.
God has given me victory.
He has given me victory.
He has given me victory.
God has given me victory.
God has given me victory.
He has given me victory.
He has given me victory.
Hallelujah.
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. Hey, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are.
God has given me victory. He has given me victory. Oh. All the days of my life I praise you. Everything that I have.
Good evening, folks. Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you that have been listening, tuning in. We appreciate it. We say thank you very much. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. First thing we want to say is this: we want to thank those of you that have been listening. I know folks have been calling, concerned, but we're okay. It's just a matter of some technical issue here that happened. In Crown, they say Utman computer. So Utman computer in quite debris mu. It's all to go. Moko computer and mataba. You Utman computer right now. Tell the DRC wala. Self-centered. You didn't hear that part. By the way, I want to thank all of I love it when I do that. I want to thank all of you again for tuning in this evening. We're not going to be here that long, but it's a very interesting topic tonight. Safety, folks. I'm not going to be here that long. I'm very, very late because I tried. What happened? I don't hide anything from you. My hard drive crashed on me. So I got a new hard drive, but for some reason, I don't want to discard my old hard drive because it had all of my program from toe down. I can't let that go. So I was able to get some other computer, and that's the one we're using this evening. And I just want to thank you very much, and we'll continue to come on. And the last thing we want to say is thanks to Nathaniel Cryport and Mr. Francis Janso. They've been taking turn to fill in for me, and they've also been helping with the situation here in Sacramento studio. And I want to thank them very much. Mazula, thank you as well. All of you guys that have been helping, we say thank you very much. We're back on air. I'm not too sure for how long, but we'll continue to do the best we can. Once the opportunity is there, we will bring the show to you and continue to have fun with you. I want to thank you guys very much. Those of you that were expressing concern, Bloku is okay. Where water will carry rat. These people, they think said they throw something from my computer from Liberia. They cannot think. What's wrong with these people, sir? They think said they can't throw things to my computer. I knock it down. I beg you, I got nothing. I want to come over there and say, no, folks, I just want to thank you. I'm having fun here already. Tonight's subject matter is very interesting one. And I want people to pay attention to it because it's going to be very interesting tonight. Very interesting. If for some reason you have the ability to share this, I know it's late on the East Coast, but if you can share it, please do so. Because these are what I'm getting ready to talk about tonight. There are things in your own life, setting marked when you pass that and you look back, you said that could have been my failure or that was my success. That's the point that I became successful. You have every one of us have our own marks. You can go back from the time you started knowing yourself up to this point. There are setting marks in your life that define you, who you are, as you move on to your old age. And so it's the same thing with everything else. Trees, water, any kind of living thing, including the country of Republic of Liberia. So I'm under the impression, and it's my opinion, that the subject matter tonight is going to truly define us as Liberians. The subject matter tonight is very important. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to be talking legalistic language here tonight. Please, if you're expecting that, you're missing the book. I'm going to be speaking real Liberian English here tonight. The English, the law book, I don't know. I know the Liberian English. And let me tell you that one. But I'm very serious though. This thing is becoming very, very interesting in Liberia. Considering our history, I'm enjoying myself as a Liberian, truthfully. Because these are kinds of stuff that get people to know, other country around you, respect you, respect your country for what they've gone through and what they have what they're going through. And so it's one of those things here. For those that are not too much involved into Liberian politics and what have you, these things doesn't matter to them. But for some of us that are very much we consider ourselves political junkie. These are things that make us to understand what Liberia is. And I want you to join me tonight and let's have fun together. The intent here again tonight is not to disparage anybody or any group. The intent, in my humble opinion, is for me to do my best to be truthful. For me to do my best to say I'm bringing out subject matter that we can intellectually discuss without insult. And that's what I come to do. And that's what I'm going to try to do tonight. I said intent. Now, those that are going to be writing and insulting and saying things, I have no control over that. I can't tell people what to say and what not to say unless I open the line. Because once I open the line and you're talking through my phone, through this medium, and you decide you want to insult, I have control over that. Because I don't want my audience to hear insult. But if you go on Facebook, because I open myself up, when we come and do these things, we open ourselves up to the public. We're saying, here we are, bare our soul. You want to criticize, whatever you want to say. I got no control what you say, how you write in your living room, or from your bedroom, or from your phone, driving. Whatever you want to say about me, you say. I can't control it. What I can do, I can delete it, but it doesn't mean anything because you can go somewhere else and write about me. So I'm not going to chase that. I will let it go because that's not what. If you talk something bad about me, that's not me. Because I know who I am at this stage. So there's nothing you're going to say that's going to move me or anything else. And I'm sure that goes well for all Liberians. Because by this time, all of us know who we are. So there's, we're here wrangling, or you go on other people's show, the way they talk about people, some of us are not comfortable with that. But I'll do my best tonight. Folks, let me take a deep breath here. The country of the Republic of Liberia. It's always been my argument. Because during the war, Sam Sinto was here. I was not in Sacramento. I was not in California. I was in the East Coast. Going to meeting. Whenever my group called meeting, I'm there. Whatever suggestion that comes out of me, we have to collect money to buy food. We do those things. Because there was a war. There were other groups that left from here. Left everything they were working for to go and fight. Not necessarily to kill people, but to defend their people. And it's not like it's one side, it's everybody. We're doing it. So you can't blame this and blame that. That's war. And I keep saying to my brothers, my sisters from Liberia, the war didn't just start some 15, 16 years ago. It was a accumulation of things gradually that got to that point. Even the Honorable Prince Johnson, because I call him honorable because he's a representative from Nimba County, so it is my duty, because my brothers and sisters in Nimba County see fit to elect him. And someone who is elected as a senator, what is a respectful thing to do is to call him honorable for them. And if that's the English, if that's the language that's using, I will use the same language. I'm not going to sit here and say because I don't like Prince Johnson or because I don't behave, I don't like his, I don't condone his behavior, therefore I'm going to call him differently. I'm not going to do that because I'm a Liberian. So I'll leave it as that. The point here tonight is this. Let me go back to the main subject. What I'm about to discuss here, for some of you, might not mean anything. But to some, it means a lot. Because how we handle this situation that's going to be happening will determine once again which route we're going to be taking as Liberian. You can talk about a loan. You can talk about coastal highway. You can be an engineer here and try to rebuild Liberia. If Liberia is not stable, all you can do, all you can, you will not be successful. Then the question is, what is stability? Stability, my opinion, not necessarily going and taking guns or go fight and thinking. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm far removed from that. I told you before. The civil war is over. The intellectual war is there. It's not going to go away. This is what I'm talking about, intellectual war, where young people will challenge the system. because they feel that the system is not doing what they want the system to do. And among the young people themselves, they will also challenge those who are challenging the system. Intellectual war is there. Intellectual war. We crumbled around here. Why these young people from school? Why are they doing this? What is it? What are they supposed to do? They're in school to learn. And what is learning? Once you learn something, you want to practice. Samson, I'm on it tonight. If you miss this subject matter tonight, you will miss something. So let's go on. Let's go on. Behind me there is the flag, the map of Liberia with all the counties, and on the other side, the flag for Liberia, seal Liberia. Okay, love and liberty brothers here. Not too sure about that, but that's okay. That's a different debate. That's not what I'm talking about tonight. So, open your mind. Like my mom, Dr. Butter Baker would say to me, open your mind, Samson, and let it sink in. And so it is tonight. I told you guys before. Samson too. I told you guys before. When I was growing up in Monrovia, working for the Ministry of Education with my mom, she helped me. Not necessarily giving me money. She goes and buy clothes from. Even I was working with the Ministry of Education. She said, "I'm a daughter. I'm a son." Did I say daughter? Samson too. Please, please don't go there. By the way, that's so what. By the way, she got clothes for me as well. Me and my brother. I'm not gonna call your name because if I call your name, you start coming on air and saying all kind of junk. So I'm not gonna call your name. But they bought clothes for us. Okay, but she made sure that school was something that I put my mind to, and in order to encourage me, because she found out very early that I like to talk, so she said, okay, whenever there is a important proceeding at Temple Justice, she will send me down there. Say, go. I'm not saying write report because she knew very well I couldn't write anyway. I don't know anything about writing. She said, go and come back and tell me what the people say. So I used to go to Temple Justice. Okay. But anyway, this is a very serious one tonight, folks, that is facing us. The intellectual war is on. And those who have good logic, those whose ideas will make sense to the population, will win. Nobody gonna get killed. However, if you get left behind by the intellectual train, you're done. You're done. Some of us don't know English anyway, but that's not the point. The intellectual war that is there, you have to prepare yourself, because there are those who will utilize your inability to understand to make you to gravitate towards them, because they think that after the words, the command, they speak the big words, and you say, yeah, that's the man I want. You don't even know what the person's saying. So you have to be very careful. But in order to get on the intellectual train, the ticket for that is education. Not necessarily classroom type education, but someone who is ready to pay attention and listen. And then when it's time to respond, you respond with sensible idea. It's your country. Liberia is your country. You're not going to have Ghanaians to come and run that country. It will not happen. In order for Ghanaians to run that country, they will have to be, first of all, be citizens of Liberia. Well known in Liberia that they are citizens of Liberia. And then the rest of it, they can debate, say, well, the person, my father from Ghana. That's not the issue. So let's go with the topic here tonight. Very interesting. Samson told Liberian Public Radio. I'll show you now the issue that we're going to be facing. In the background is Madam Constance. And then there is just a Jana. Okay. The issue now is this. This is the starting of, if we're not careful, that will give us a constitutional crisis. And when the crisis happening, you don't expect the government of Liberia the executive, to say, let this constitutional crisis go on, I will go on with my role. That ain't happening. He's going to have to pay attention, because whatever is going to be affecting the two branches that I'm going to be putting up here later will also affect the executive. So all of these things, if we don't know how to handle them intellectually, I'm not saying they're going to destroy us, but it might waste our time. Let me read something to you here very quickly. Okay, what I'm about ready to read to you, there was a guy that wrote this here. Uh, the guy, Mr. Stewart, John H. Stewart, he wrote this some time ago. Okay, it says simple logic and the law. Looking to buy a house, get it done the U.S. way. Okay, let me go. I have to put this stuff up first. Just give me a moment. By the way, the point here, why this thing is okay, it's coming up. The point here is this is the starting of what is happening, and I will get to the what is happening here very shortly. If you missed it tonight again, if you think I'm coming here to be cussy, uh, I'm not going to do that. Intellectual. If you missed this, it's up to you. Okay. So this guy, okay, okay, Westmaster. Okay, I think this is attorney Keith Novell Best. He wrote this. Annie Constance never heard these critical words. It's all, if at all, Hassan had heard them. Lacking a sound mind, he would have been unable to handle these questions with any degree of competency. Okay, let me go to the sweet part. Okay, what I want you to, because I don't want to read the whole thing. What I want you to do is go to Daily Observer and type in simple logic and the law, and this article gonna come out. Basically, what this guy trying to argue is that Justice Jana has taken this lady house using his power in essence. I'm just paraphrasing, abusing his power as a justice of the Supreme Court to get something that doesn't belong to him. That's the argument. But I want you to read it, okay? Okay? And I want you to read it, because if I go through reading it here tonight, I might be here for a while. I don't want to do that. So just go ahead and read it and see what this guy is going. Uh, it's a very interesting article where the guy lay out all of the things. He didn't go into detail, but he's simply trying to argue that the Liberian House of Representatives, those who are bringing the impeachment proceeding against the sitting justice, perhaps they have something for people to listen to. That was his argument. Okay? So I want you to read that. This is the basic of what I'm going to be talking about here tonight. This guy, the justice, is being accused of taking this woman's house forcibly. I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, that he's saying that his son that gave him the house is not he's not stable, mentally stable to make those kinds of sound decisions. And this lady wrote to President Dr. Weir about the incident. So now let's go to the story itself. Samson told Labrador Public Radio. Very interesting thing here. I want you to pay attention to it. Very interesting. Here is what I'm going to be telling you. Okay, we have the Temple of Justice, and we also have the House of Representatives, the Capitol building. And then we have the Justice, Yoa, and Speaker Chambers. Okay? I think by now you know where I'm going with this story. Okay. But the intent here is the Justice in Chamber have asked the Speaker Chamber to put a state, because these people have already go in to look at they set up an ad hoc committee to look into the proceeding because there's few House of Representatives, member of House of Representatives asking that the Justice Jannah be impeached. So they have gone in, the House of Representatives have gone in to set up a committee to look into it and see if it can come back to report to them. And then the second lawyer, group of lawyers, wrote to the justice in chamber to say that this is not right. They shouldn't even start that because their argument is based on faulty argument. In that the people that wrote the letter, the justices that wrote the letter, their argument was that the two representatives, then the people that stood out in my reading, okay, Gray and another Fire something. But anyway, these people decided that they want to put Justice Jannah start the impeachment proceeding against him because they say according to the Constitution, the man is not fit to lead. So those lawyers that wrote the justice, they said the man is fit to lead. They have no evidence, but yet still they want to drag this man name out and try to put the country into a constitutional crisis. So we're asking your honor to put a stay on this. I'm just paraphrasing. If you want it, you can go read it. So she looked at it and perhaps felt that the lawyer have standing. And then she sent a letter, okay, to the speaker to say put hold on everything else, okay. And here's the interesting thing here about that. Supreme Court stay Jannah impeachment proceeding. That's the heading. You can read that too from Daily Observer, okay. The Supreme Court on yesterday ordered House Speaker Chamber to place a hold on impeachment proceeding against Associate Justice Jannah until it had the post of Jannah alternative rate of probation filed on his behalf by his lawyers. Folks, this is getting interesting. If you know your civic history of Republic of Liberia, we have three branches. We have judiciary, we have the legislature, and we have the executive. I'll make it four. We have Samson too. No, on a very serious note. Okay, so three of them. The executive, from the reading, if you go through to read it, it like the this brewery here of cocktail or brew, whatever you want to call it. It was fermented or started by the executive from the reading, from anything you read here that, and pass it on to the executive took him and passed it on to the House of Representatives. And according to the Constitution, they also, the representatives have the right. They're the only people that can bring impeachment proceeding against a certain justice. But in order to do that, that proceeding, the impeachment itself, there are certain qualifications, there are certain aspects that you have to put in there that will qualify for the House of Representatives to carry on the impeachment proceeding itself. I don't know if the House of Representatives, no, not House of Representatives, but anyway, those are the people that are going to start. But if they're truly going to do it, guess where they're going to go? The Senate. Guess who's going to preside? The Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. So the justice in chamber, having heard that, heard the argument from the lawyer, wrote Dr. Chimber and the representative to say pour hold on everything until the issue that is being brought to our attention by these lawyers is settled. And then I thought to myself, okay, I've been doing some reading. I'm not going to tell you much. I'll just tell you what I want you to hear from me. I'm not going to read the whole thing for you. I want you to do research on these things so that you will be able to understand, not just take it from me. So there was another person, another article A lawyer was arguing. One of the lawyers that practiced law business in front of justice in front of the Supreme Court. He was arguing. Say, why is Justice Yola putting a stay order on this proceeding? What is the constitutional violation that the House of Representatives have put up already that caused her to be concerned? Because they have the right to set up a committee to look into it. They have the right to discuss impeachment proceeding. It is their duty. They have not charged anybody. They have not brought anybody before them to answer for any crime. So what is the constitutional violation that causing the justice in chamber to put a stay on that? Intellectual civil war. Folks, interesting. So then the argument becomes, like I said, I'm not a lawyer. Now, if this was engineering by this time, by the way, let me also say I thank Mr. So last night. He hosted the Minister of Public Works, and he did a wonderful job. Giving the minister some opportunity to explain to the diaspora what is happening. And we want to thank you very much, Mr. So. Thank you very much. That was a wonderful job. By the way, so now it's the justice. She's somehow saying maybe there will be some sort of a violation. It can't, but maybe it will come. So let me call it up right now before it comes. Is that how we practice law? I just, no, to be honest with you, I just don't see it. Another interesting subject matter. Some weeks ago, I read an article. My good friend, Kofa Flanti Kofa, who is now member of the representative of the Republic of Liberia, he wrote something. They had an interview with him, and he said, "We're here. Whatever proceeding you have, you're going to come to us, and we're going to examine it." Yes, what most people don't know about Kofa. Kofa is a registered Liberian lawyer, but when Kofa took the bar exam, Kofa does the whole thing. He became number one. Kofa is very smart. He's a good lawyer, very good lawyer. And so people in the House of Representatives, they know his position. They know that he's not here for you to just run things by him and he say, yes, sir. No. Kofa will challenge you. I know Kofa. Okay? So Kofa said, if you're going to go in the house, because you remember that young man that came out that day was so upset and even make a pronouncement that it is the president that need to be impeached. I don't know from where he was coming from, so I'm not going to speak to that. I'm just making that point. Okay? He was so upset that the speaker were only selecting, according to him, selecting members of CDC to go or be on the committee. It is the CDC, member of CDC that bringing this impeachment proceeding against the justice. So why would you have only member of CDC, according to this guy, only member of CDC to be on this committee? Does it mean that other people are not involved? Why would you even set up when you already have a committee that is responsible for judiciary? Unless you're going to tell us that after the committee is done with their job, they will go through the judiciary committee, and then the committee going to have to review before they report to the whole body. Unless that's what the speaker is saying. But according to the young man, that's not what it was. And he was very, very upset. Very upset. And he made his point very clear to all of us. I was watching it. So once again, the issue is that what do we do? How do we get out of here? Now, the stay order is asking the House of Representatives to come and answer questions before the judiciary. Fellow, how is that going to happen? What exactly are we supposed to be expecting from Dr. Chimber who is now heading the House of Representatives, which is a separate branch of government. First of all, have they violated anybody's constitutional rights? Second, if so, what particular article in the Constitution that is being violated? Because remember, the justices are to interpret the law. My understanding, I'm not a lawyer, so I could be wrong on that. Everything I'm saying, I might even be wrong. So please write whatever you want to say. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm a good common sense person. Okay? And in my mind, in my total mind, highly intellectual. From total, that is. One play with. Let's be specific. But we're not on a very serious note. So how with Dr. Chima and his group, what are you going to do? What if they say that the Supreme Court has stepped over the red line, whatever line you want to call it, and they say we're not going to answer to your calling us? Who's going to be the ref? The executive? The executive who already started the brewing, who started fermenting this idea. Are they the people that are going to be the ref in this situation? On a very serious note, these things tend to affect all of us. Because again, once again, let me make reference back to during the election. The Supreme Court, I argued that so many days that just like Dr. Weir, who was able to put Liberia on the international map of soccer, so was the Supreme Court. Not only the Supreme Court, I also credited Councillor Bronsky for bringing the case to court and not encouraging young people to demonstrate in the street that perhaps could have caused a serious problem. But Councillor Bronsky, he's a lawyer, so he believed in the court system, and he decided to go ahead to test the system. And the Supreme Court was up to the challenge as well. You heard hours. The Supreme Court justice reading, making their point, case by case, point by point, making reference to this article, to that article. You know why? My opinion, the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, they were answering a specific question that day. Because the international community had put so much money into building up that system. It's like a student, like in my engineering school, before you graduate, you have a project. And after you're done with your project, you have to stand before faculties and you have to defend your project. Engineers faculties. It could be an electrical engineer faculty member, a doctor, one of the, whatever, engineer from electrical, hydraulics, all the different type of engineers. And you, as a civil engineer, you're going to have to come and defend your project. What was your engineering reason? How did you come up with that? What type of engineering judgment you were making? And you have to defend your project. And you don't go over there and say, oh, I'm from Total. I'm my business. I don't know anything about it. What I did when it was my turn, Samson, I don't get told I got muff when it was my turn. What I did, at that time, they had a big camera. I set the camera up. I told one of my buddies, I said, mind the camera for me. And then the first question was asked to me was, what's your camera going to do? I said, I'm here to record the proceeding. He said, what proceeding? We're not in a court. I said, well, I just want to keep record. So that might have been one of the reasons, one of the heating and air conditioning engineer, he decided to take me to clean it out. Let me give you that one small example and then we can move on. So I stood there, a group of us, there was about I think, I don't quite remember, I think 4 or 5. But I was responsible. The building, I was responsible to do the air conditioning, the heating and air conditioning for the building. I was responsible for that. I was also responsible to do the sewer line and the storm drain. Okay, I was responsible for that. Not only that, I was also responsible to do most of the connection, steel connection in the building, water concrete connection, all of the connection. I was responsible for that. So I knew what I was talking about. I got there. My camera running. I started running my mouth. Look, look, look. And sure, everything you do, if you're prepared, it will show. If you're not prepared, it will show. So week leading up to that process, I did all my stuff. I was prepared. But there was this one subject that I decided I'm going to ignore it until 2 days before. Then I said I want to cram it. And it was a bad idea. It was a heating system. So the idea was I want to bring steam heat from outside, condense it so much to a point that when it gets out, it should be able to create some sort of other heating system from a steam outside, other heating system, or turn it into air conditioning. And then I thought to myself, the best way I can do, those of you that are living in the East Coast, in your house, in some of your houses, they have the coil heating system. Those things was the last time they put those things was in the 50s. So I decided I'm going to use coil heating system because it's easy. I can do the calculation. I can do the outside core air and the inside. I'm not going to bore you with this. I can do those calculations because it's easy. So I went in there. I started narrating how I'm going to take the sewer line, how deep it's going to be, whether it's going to be gravity field, and whatever. I was just going. And they're right here. Okay. Then I got to this heating system. And I said, well, look at this building. I had a picture of the building up in a section. When you cut the building in half and you show it, that's in section. And I was showing the heating system coming from down, going up. What are my feet? How much pressure is going to need? All that kind of stuff. I calculated all those things. So when I got to the heating system, I decided, okay, I'm going to take it from, I was able to do my duct work and all. What cut this guy attention was, I'm doing a duct work. We're supposed to be air. And then I'm going to take the air and put it through the coil heating system. He said, hold it, Mr. Toe. Why are you doing this? I said, remember now, I was not prepared. I said, this is a system that is efficient according to efficiency calculation. The efficient, I tried throwing numbers. He said, Mr. Toe, we got people though that were watching. He said, Mr. Toe, this type of system have not been used since the 50s. You guys are supposed to be people that have come up with a new generation of heating system. Why are you putting it back into the 50s? I'm from Tota. I don't know anything. What you gonna do? Yeah, I started backtracking, but it was too late. Okay, I wasn't ready. Okay, I was ready for everything else, but I have one heating system. The only good thing about that is my grade was not dependent on that one heating system. So from that point on, any other building, when I did some building for Army Corps of Engineer in Ohio, I refused to use that kind of heating system. Okay, when I did another Army Corps of Engineer building over there in Ironton, West Virginia, I refused to use that heating system. So all of the building that I was building, I refused to use that system. I used different system. Okay, but the point here is this. These people, let me get back to this. Now that I finished telling you who sounds into how you're not always perfect. I'm never even perfect anyway. But the point here on a very serious note, everything you do, you have to be prepared. Everything you do, you must be able to stand up and defend yourself. What was the reason that the justice is asking another branch of government to come and answer to her? What are the constitutional violations at this point? I'm not saying that she's wrong. She knows. She can tell us. She's not a slush. This is a highly educated person. She's a lawyer. She probably can tell us. But from a layman point of view, from my own, when I read these things, I just don't see it. Okay? So again, this is Samson told. I'm probably trying to drink a water here. Stay with me. Samson told. You see, I'm drinking water tonight. Sweet water. But anyway, so the question now is the individual. I'm not individual, but independent legislatures. Would they now say Christ's sovereignty? We have the right to do it, and we're doing it. If you until you can show us what constitutional violation that we have done, we're not coming nowhere. Can they do that? Of course they can. But what good would it do for us? Because if you do that, you're now challenging another system within the government. Where do we end? Will you because you're saying now you're not going to go face the justice. Then if the justice in chamber decide to take the case to the Supreme Court, what will you say? Will you go to the Supreme Court? Because I mean, she's member of the Supreme Court. Will you go to the full Supreme Court to answer? So this is what I think will happen. Most likely, Dr. Chima going to send their lawyer to meet with her. Your Honor, what exactly are you calling us for? And she will lay it out. And as smart as lawyer will be, will tell you, Your Honor, we respect your position, but perhaps, and I'm saying only if she come out to say maybe, then, Your Honor, we respect your position, we respect the higher court, even though we're separate but equal branch of government. And the respect for all of us should be there. And so we decide to show, first of all, should show you our respect to this Aj's body. However, Your Honor, from what we stand, there has not been any kinds of violation, constitutional violation of Justice Jana constitutional right. Unless the court can show what are some of the constitutional violations that we have done, could you please let us do our job? And for some reason, if we're not capable of doing it, and you can find in a proceeding that there are some constitutional lapses, then perhaps we can talk about that. How you like that? Samson told I just became a representative, and I went to represent them. As a representative, I was there to represent them and represent their interest. By this time, they're telling me, Samson told, don't come back here. No, but on a very serious note, this thing has to be handled with care, folks. Because if you don't do that international, these are kind of stuff the international community look for. Is Liberia still ready to stand up for the rule of law? Okay? Are we Liberian country of men or country of law? That is the serious question. Because the representative, they can argue whatever way they want to argue, but they must show respect to another branch of government. There are three divided government, branches of government, but they are equal. And the respect must be there at all times. Even if one is somehow at fault with making mistake, the one that knows that this is a mistake will point it out with respect. Once again, let us make sure these things doesn't define us as troublemaker. Let us approach these things as an intellectual. Those of you that are lawyers, those of you that know the law, those of you that know the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, perhaps you right now you're looking at me and say, what is the article? And you yourself can go on the Constitution, go to the Constitution, find the article that give the representative the right to start the impeachment proceeding. Starting the proceeding does not mean the impeachment has been concluded. The process has been concluded. You're starting the proceeding. And those of us that got big mouths, we're not lawyers, but we can read. And what I expect is a smell test. And he said, Mr. Toe, a smell test doesn't work with law. That's fine. But we have lawyers in Liberia. There are those who will say, and there are those who continue to argue to say it's not time yet. The justice has jumped the gun. People argue. So, but these are things that I will say to you, my brothers and sisters, even if it is not your area, if it is not your area of study, you are Liberian. And you are educated Liberian. Educate yourself. Read these things. Because what do we do as Liberian whenever we gather together? What do? We talk about Liberia. And this will be a good subject matter to have a discussion at a party or whatever. It's not always to insult. It's not always to blame the government. It's not always the government not doing this, the people there to corrupt. That shouldn't be the only conversation. Unless you believe in gossip, then you can go on to make these kinds of pronouncements. But I don't. I try to get into the intellectual realm. I'm not saying that I'm not an intellectual person. I don't know nothing. But at least I can read. I think. And sometimes I don't know how to read either. But at least I can speak Quran. So if I want these people to tell me something for me to understand, I'll tell them they speak Quran. But if you're not prepared, on a very serious note, if you don't read these things, and then you want to jump into the conversation, it's just a matter of time before you start cussing. Because you have no clue. Not that you're not educated, that's not what I'm saying. But the point that you have not been able to keep up with this thing, to read, to see what is happening, what are the other people's opinion, and you express yourself one or two times, your lack of words, the next thing you come into is a cuss. Because Liberian men, they don't give up to say, oh, you win the argument, man, let me get out. No. The next thing he started cussing you because he run out of words. Prepare yourself. The intellectual war is on. And those who are who has the ability to understand will be in charge. Because here's the thing. What are your woman, your man, as long as you're Liberian? You like to talk. Nobody can talk past you. Woman or man, it doesn't matter. Go on to Facebook and see the kind of thing our sisters and brothers continue to argue about. And so I'm saying, this is very important. This could establish one of the marks on the Liberian calendar of being, I would say successful. I'm not going to say defeat, because I know we will be successful. So these are the kind of things you need to pay attention to. Read these things. Look for Front Page Africa. Even if you don't agree with them, even if you think they are corrupt, whatever, they're bringing up subject matter. You go to Daily Observer. They have other newspapers coming from Liberia. By the time you finish reading 4 or 5 newspapers, you will understand what is happening, because they're all now coming from one newspaper house at night to say, okay, you write it, this is what I'm going to say, and you will say the same thing. They don't go repeating themselves. But if they're going to be talking about some subject matter that affect the country, they will talk about it, but they will come from a different perspective. And if you're able to read all of those people perspective, you will be able to understand. Some will tell you facts. Some will quote other people. They're not going to call their names, sources. But from your own ability to read and understand and compare notes, you will form your own informed decision, conclusion, based on what you have been reading. This is Sam Sinto, Liberian Public Radio. I'm not able to take commercial. I'm not quite prepared for that yet. So before that, let me go back and play my music while I'm trying to read this thing. And then after that, I gotta open the line. I gotta open the line for people to call. But anyway, let's go. Let's hold on 1 minute. Stay with me, Sam Sinto, Liberian Public Radio. Let's do this.
Now you get to me, Baba. Lord, I say for your love I'm grateful. Yes, you love me plenty, you came to die for me. Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Nissi, I am that I am. Ooh. Oh, I searched around, there's no one else like you. Lion of Judah, you're the man.
God has given me victory.
You have given me victory.
He has given me victory.
God has given me victory.
God has given me victory.
He has given me victory.
He has given me victory.
Hallelujah.
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
I worship you. I worship you. Hey, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are.
Okay, folks. Again, welcome back, Sam Sinto. I'm gonna be opening the line. Give me a call. But before that, though, I need to get off this thing. I'll call. I'll let. Give me a call here as soon as I get this thing set. So give me a call. I will let you know what the number is. Don't jump the gun. I'll let you know what the number is. But before I do that, there's one or two things I need to get together here. My God, all my equipment all scattered all over here. Did I say scatter? Wow, something too. You can still speak like English? Scatter? What? Yeah, begin. You go. Yeah, I love it when I say scatter. What? Scatter, scatter. Okay, when I do that, then you know I'm having issue trying to get myself together. Again, folks, Samson to LeBron Public Radio. Uh, okay. Just give me one second here. Just stay with me. If you have to be anywhere, that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to necessarily glue yourself to me here tonight. That's fine. But I'd love for you to stay with me though, because I think this subject matter is very important, and I hope that you're getting something out of it. Okay. Uh, okay. This is not quite going the way I wanted to go, but that's okay because we. Okay. Let me go ahead. Give me a call 916-533-2048. Let's put it up. Let's put it up. All right. And folks, I'm not gonna be here all night now. My father so can be laughing at me. No, that's not what he think I do. Okay, that's my number one. Give me a call. 916 916 533-2048 and see how far we're gonna go with it. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. And very shortly as well, we're going to be going to our brothers and sisters from the Quinamo District, Grand Union County, having their convention. And Blaku going to be there as one of the honoree. So those of you that perhaps want to know where Blaku will be this coming weekend, please be there and let's support our brothers and sisters from the Quinamo District. Oh, Jesus. Okay, thank you. Thomas said some of Chakla. Yeah, my man. The thing we gotta do. Okay, to what the subject matter here tonight, to be honest with you, to what the subject matter here is the justice in chamber. Just I think Yolo or something. Please, I'm chopping her knee tonight. But anyway, I know she will forgive me. But anyway, so the House of Representatives started a proceeding, as you heard there last time, and the two representatives decided they're gonna bring a impeachment proceeding against Justice Jana. Uh, and they started proceeding. They uh, Speaker asked certain people to form a committee and go and look into it. And certain member of the House of Representatives was upset because they excluded some members. They only selected those that are member of CDC or CDC affiliated members. Were those that were selected. However, certain group of lawyers, I think there was 10 lawyers in Liberia, decided to write on behalf of the Justice Jana, to, to write to the Justice of in chamber, say these people they have no standing. You shouldn't allow this to go on because Justice Jana has not violated any kind of constitution article or whatever. It will say that he's not fit. That's not right. They're just trying to ruin this man's reputation, things like that. And apparently, the justice in chamber felt that the lawyer have a standing. So then sent a letter to the House of Representatives through Dr. Chima, who is now Speaker, to say put a hold on the proceeding until you come to us and try to answer certain questions that we have, to certify certain questions that people have on the lawyers that pose certain questions. So come and say. Now the question that I ask is as to whether because in order for you to as a justice of the Supreme Court, I would think, and I could be wrong because I'm not a lawyer. I keep saying that, and I will continue to say it. But I'm a common sense person. In order for you to step into something that the other house, the other branch of government has duty, constitutional mandate to bring up proceeding, impeachment proceeding against the people from the justice, I mean the article judiciary. And if that process is ongoing, why will you put stop to it if, for me, I have not seen any kind of constitutional violation? So the question that I have is, what will be the response from the House of Representatives? As a liberal progressive, someone who loves peace, my request to my brothers and sisters I call it House of Representatives, they should go and answer. However, before answering any question, they should point it out to the justice to say, can you tell us what? Because she might have that. I'm not saying maybe she have that. I don't know, but she might have the violation, and they might ask her, what are the violations for which you're calling us to address here this evening? Okay, so that's, but to say we're not going to go and start crying sovereignty, then I think you're bringing up a constitutional crisis that perhaps will waste our time. No, no, we're not able to get out of it. Or don't get me wrong, we can get out of it. We can get out of it, and we have the ability to. I mean, we got out of civil war. How much more of a constitutional crisis? We can get out of it. But why waste our time? Why put us through that when you have a Dr. Weir, who is willing to bring development, who is willing to build roads? Why even slow down? Because when the justice, the judiciary, and the legislation are going at each other, do you think the executive going to stand by and say, okay, why you're going there? We're going to. No, it don't work like that. The three branches have to work together in order for the government to move forward. If you don't do that, you're going to be accused of being dictator. Simple as that. Because if the justice, I mean, if the judiciary and the legislature are going at each other, and you say you want to run the government, who's passing the law? And you can say, well, the people can chew gum and walk at the same time. That's right. But what if, for some reason, while you're doing that, you have certain law passed that perhaps has some kind of a connection? These things are all intertwined, folks. They're not just one thing and loose like a spaghetti. So you having these two people fighting each other, and the other group say we're going to pass a law, and somebody different go sue and say the law they just passed is in violation of the case that are before the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court will come back and put stay on it because you already disrespected them. Where are we going? Folks, these things are they're very interesting. So my thing is, as my brother wanted me to do, my thing is I want the brothers and sisters from the lawmakers to go over there and say, we haven't even started anything yet. Look at us. Let's see, show us if we're violating. And if we haven't violated anything, Madam Justice, we ask you, we're pleading with you to please let us do our work. And she's a learned person. She find out that she make a mistake. She says, okay, go do your work. But I'm watching. And she can have the right to say that. We're watching. Because this is about constitution. And this is also affecting one of them. But they're not going to show somehow that their feelings are being hurt. They will show independence. We're talking Liberia independence. Okay, but that's the whole gist. So give me a call here, Samson to LeBron Public Radio, and I have about 5 more minutes, and I'll be out of here quick tonight. But give me a call, Samson to LeBron Public Radio. So these are the kinds of things. But on a very serious note, this thing must be handled with care. We shouldn't have the government officials that are going around putting their mouth into things they have no clue on. Let this thing be handled by those who are duly clout to handle these kinds of things. Lawyers. You can't have Samson Toe coming from public work to come run your mouth because you see he's working for the government, want to defend the government. No. You can't have some kind of something to who is the chief of staff to some representative can't run their mouth. No. Even those that are involved themselves, the representative themselves, they should stay out of it. Turn this into let the lawyers that are representing the lawmakers, let them handle it, because you're going to be speaking the language of the law. You're not going to be speaking simply English. The time when the time count, the time go, the time be, that kind of English is not going to be acceptable at the Supreme Court. What time they rise? When the president becoming more merely. I better not say that. There's a story on that. I'm just going to make it brief. And please, whoever, no, I'm not going to go there because I know people are going to be affected. But anyway, that's not the point. The point that I'm trying to make here is those that are responsible, that know the in and out of the law, they should be the one to get involved. Let's take emotion out of it. The representative have started something and they have the right to do it. Okay? So let us go ahead and stay out of it. When it's done, let them handle it. Okay? So I will let you give me a call. Samson told, give me a call as soon as you're done. Let me know. We'll be here. We got only 3 more minutes, and after that we'll call it quit here tonight. All right. My number is over there, 916-533-2048. Give me a call. All right. And that's all that I'm arguing tonight. In the meantime, so just let me do this here, and then I'll call it quit. 3 more minutes, folks. Okay, folks, Samson to LIBERIA Radio. I'm going to say good night to all of you. This is my argument tonight. Take care and see where we go with it. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. Like I said, when we come out here, we bet ourselves out. We give you who we are. And if you have anything that people will write here and say whatever they want to say, I have no control over it. All I need to do is when I face you on this camera, that I be truthful for what I'm saying and what's come out of my mouth. And I think I do my best. This is Samson To. I will say good night to all of you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. Let's do it again. I'm still trying to reorganize. And usually when I say good night, I play the good night music and all that. But I'm not able to do that right now because my other computer is highly, let's put it this way, unavailable. Samson To. Good night, folks. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Let's get out of here. And we'll be back Wednesday. But of course, we're going to Quinamo District organization stuff here over the weekend. Tune in tomorrow for Mr. Soul Show, where he will bring you some wonderful, wonderful information. Thank you very much. Good night, folks.
Mama